بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Oh Allah, grant me sincerity on that day, grant me, even if temporary, eloquence and clarity and ability to show your servants how great is Islam and how great is the Prophet ﷺ, and don't make my tension or my language or the British context and the security and all these ideas be an impediment towards transforming the words that are in my heart to their heart, rather than from my mouth to your ears. Oh Allah, grant us sincerity and grant us success and blessing, and create, despite the air conditioning, an air of warmth and love between us during these couple of days. I am happy to see you all, as always, and I am more happy to see new faces, and I am happy to see familiar faces. I am even more happier to see brothers at that large, significant number, and happy to hear babies as well. And I'm saying this because the stereotype is that, as one brother told me, if you want lots of sisters to attend, do a talk on marriage or a talk on children. I think you broke this stereotype. You broke the rule. And if anything, I'm very glad. I'm extremely glad, because I'm a brother and I want all the brothers to be educated about parenting and about how Rasulullah dealt with children. And because, if anything, I think it shows this mutual feeling of responsibility and duty. We are not here coming to be entertained. We are coming here to learn with the entertainment, but the main thing is the education and the benefit. So this is one thing, and I'm glad actually to see people that I knew when I was young and when they were bachelors, and I see them now either engaged or married, or now they are fathers and mothers. I'm extremely glad. And if anything, it shows that you are getting old, which is not always a pleasant feeling. But who knows? Maybe those children, maybe the sisters that are pregnant, or the sisters that are having their babies with them, maybe those people. And I think that those people should one day be, instead of me, in my place. Better English, better understanding of the culture, etc., etc. The knowledge is not a problem. Just go 2 years and learn Arabic and have access to the books. But it's the mind, it's the intelligence, it's the sincerity. And this is you can have, and this is you should have, and this is you will have, inshallah. Okay, why are we here? Okay, immediately, we are not here to attend a parenting course. I have nothing to do with parenting. If my wife was here, she will become crazy hearing this. I have nothing to do with parenting in the sense that I don't know much about counseling. I don't know much about if you are worried that your child might become addicted to drugs, etc. I can't help in that. I am a political historian. I know much about seerah and history, but not much about psychology. I'm not a psychiatrist, etc., etc. I'm not even a cyclist, if that was a Freudian slip. So why are we here? I said why we are not here, just to dispel any misunderstanding. And the last thing I want you is to be disappointed, meaning that you come and say, I want my money back. Don't come to me, go to Sami. I'm saying this because I gave the 4 great Imams, and at the outset it says the brochure and the poster that this is going to explore the social dimension of the 4 Imams. Has nothing to do about fiqh, this. And at the end of the second day, I was exhausted. I thought I did a tremendous job. I had this senior brother coming to me. I said, really, brother, your talk was good, but I'm really disappointed, because I expected to get out of this course all the usul al-fiqh and masalih mursala and istihsan, etc. People, it seems that they have been addicted to repetition. They want to hear what they have heard before, and they are not ready yet to But alhamdulillah, with the 4 great Imams, with Bukhari, with the help of others, we try to explore a virgin land, new dimension in our heritage, the social, the human dimension. And this brings me to something that is close to my heart, and it's not crystallized in my head at the moment, but maybe we meet after a couple of years, and maybe then it will be more developed. But really, and I said it to some of my friends, and some of them did not accept what I said. I said to them, look at how the seerah is being written. Today, pick any book in seerah, and the main headings, and I have no problem with that. I'm not criticizing that, but just question that. Question, why is it like this? And is there anything sacred about it? And should it continue to be like that? And by the way, you will find it relevance to the bombings and the sort of culture that is emerging. I hope it's not a culture or anything like this. But anyway, the manifestations of what's going on. Seerah Nabawiyya, Rasul Sallam before Ba'tha, before he became a prophet, and then the Meccan period, and the torture of the Sahaba, etc., and then Medina. And then straight away, yes, a couple of years, it's the Battle of Badr. And then another couple of years, it's the Battle of Uhud. And then you see it in the seerah. For someone like myself and someone who is mature enough like yourself, I'm sure you will get the seerah, etc., that Rasulullah lived for 23 years, etc. But imagine a young boy or a young girl reading that. What is the impression? The impression is that Rasulullah was doing nothing other than fighting, was entering a battle and getting out of it in preparation for another battle. And our entire culture in the talks, etc., it's about Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, Hudaybiyah, Fath Mecca. The impression that people get is that we are always in a continuous state of war. Now, I would like to say that this is not necessarily the seerah of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but this is the military seerah. In fact, in Arabic, it's called al-Maghazi, coming from Ghazwa. So Maghazi, yes, the historians say that Maghazi is the seerah, but Maghazi is the plural for Ghazwa, which means battle, which means a military campaign. What we tend to not focus about or to study enough is what happens in between Badr and Uhud. What happens in between Badr and Uhud, between Uhud and Al-Khandaq. Rasulullah goes and settles in Medina. He interacts with his wives. He interacts with children. He talks to the companions in the mosque. He walks the market. He is doing what? He is living a civilian life. This civilian life is omitted or studied enough in the books of Seerah. So what am I trying to do here? It's not a parenting course, but you can say it's a Seerah course with 2 unique things. The camera in that narrative is focusing on the children. It's not focusing about a confrontation between Abu Jahl and Rasulullah. It's not focusing on Bilal that is being wept in Mecca and he's saying Ahadun Ahad. No. The camera is focusing on the children. Wherever there are children, the camera moves. And in fact, you will notice that with all the hadiths that are in the course, the holders of the camera are children. So it is Anas ibn Malik, who is a child, who is actually following the actions of Rasulullah whenever he interacts with children, documenting that interaction. Fascinating. So number 1, it is seerah, where the camera is focusing on the children and the holders of the camera are children. Number 2, a civilian context, a civil context. No swords, no weapons. Why? Because Rasulullah is developing. And when you develop, you will not be able to develop through a sword, guns, or explosives. To develop, you need to sit down in moments of peace and talk and educate and construct and instruct and reform and rectify. How can we know each other if we are fighting each other? What's your name, brother? Bam, kill. No, you can't do that. Ta'arafu means we have to have a state of peace. Sit in a coffee shop, walk together, etc., etc. Shu'uban wa qaba'il, that means for the non-Muslims. So it's not about parenting, it's about seerah, focusing on the children. And I hope that I am with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, setting a precedence. In what? Well, at least in providing this material in an audio form in English. I don't claim that I'm original in that. These are from the books that are available in Arabic and perhaps in the future available in English. But I thought that today's generation, the listeners of Virgin and CDs and etc., we need to go to them rather than grab their, well, unless you do a book like Harry Potter, that's something else. But unfortunately, you don't have fascinating writers yet, so we have to rely on the audio. So, but the future is bright. The future is bright. And I'm sure that in the future things will be better than that. So, providing it in an audio form. But number two, I'm trying to provoke you to think about other things that can be done in the future. Have you thought of the possibility of us or you or anyone doing a course on how did Rasul ﷺ go? How did Rasul ﷺ live his teenage life? Have you thought about this? When he was 12, 13, 14, 16, did he used to smoke when he was teenage? How was his relations with girls? Did you ask these questions? Sexual desires, etc., etc. Okay, this is one dimension. Rasul ﷺ, the teenager. Have you thought about the social problems that were at the time of Rasul ﷺ? Have you thought about addicts? Not drug addicts, alcoholics. Are you aware that there were alcoholics at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Are you aware that there was a companion that was lashed many, many times for drinking? He was alcoholic. Are you aware that there was a companion in the battlefield that was drinking but fighting fiercely, and the leader exempted him and did not punish him because he's in a state of a war and you cannot apply Islamic rules outside Islamic. But he was alcoholic without going into the fiqh. I'm saying alcoholic, not drinking in parties and occasionally, no. People that were addicts and being lashed because they are drinking in public. They cannot control themselves other than to drink in public. Have you thought about husbands and wives, companions that divorced? Both of them are pious and everything, but they were fighting each other. Zayd ibn Haritha that divorced Zaynab bin Jah. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about companions that were extremely poor and begging and have no place to sleep other than in the mosque or in the streets, and Rasulullah ﷺ trying to encourage one of them to find a job? They were homeless at that time. Have you thought about these have you thought of contemporizing Islam? That's what I'm trying to say. And contemporize the sort of problems. You see, brothers and sisters, there is a duality. We tend to be unconsciously secular because we have this duality between the modern and the pre-modern, the modern and the classic, the ideal, Rasulullah ﷺ, and the modern, Loughborough, Leicester, Nottingham, bombings, these kind of things. And in between this duality, there is a confused generation that is growing up, getting married and growing beard and wearing hijab, but continuing to be confused, easy to recruit and easy to, born to kill, basically, have the ability to kill. Have you thought about these kind of, have you thought about Rasulullah ﷺ getting married? How did he get engaged? How did he propose? How did he see the girl? Did he like her or not? What were his conditions for marrying this girl? And another that proposed to him and he said no. 9 wives. With every wife there is a story.